Welcome to the No More Meds podcast with Dr. Corinne Weaver. Are you stressed out because you keep getting sick and don't know what steps to take? Are you sick of not getting answers from your doctor and always needing to take drugs? How would your life be different if you were healthy? Be inspired and stay tuned for some practical solutions for healthy living.
Hello, and welcome to the No More Meds podcast, where we share stories to inspire you and your family to live a healthier life without more medications. Today, I have a special guest. Her name is Sarah Stevens, and today she's going to share her daughter's story. Hey, Austin, you're going to join us today. Hey.
Hey.
All right, Sarah. So tell us how Austin came to know upper cervical and come into the practice.
Okay, so when Austin was a baby, I'd say between 9 months, 10 months, she had lots of ear infections, very, very recurring. She'd have one, we'd do an antibiotic. 3 weeks later, she'd have another one. We'd do an antibiotic. 3 weeks later, she'd have another one. And they kept coming. And one of my friends at church recommended upper cervical care. She recommended your office. And at that point, I was ready for a change. I needed something different that was actually going to work. And I'd heard not one, but probably 2 testimonials of how well it worked. So we met with you. I remember it was my birthday, May 4th, I guess, 2016. We met with you for the first time, and then she's been there ever since.
Wow. And how old are you now, Austin?
5.
You're 5 now. That's so awesome. Were you skeptic at first? Were you scared to bring her in? I mean, is this your first experience with chiropractic?
So actually I had done some chiropractic care a long time ago when I had some back issues, but I wouldn't say I was scared. I was actually very hopeful because, like I said, everything else that we had tried just through the pediatrician had just been an ongoing medicine, try this medicine, try that medicine. And so I was actually kind of excited and hopeful because I just wanted something to work for her, just besides constant medication.
Right. So besides ear infections, was there anything else that she suffered with, as an infant?
As an infant, looking back on it now, she did have a lot of reflux issues, lots of spitting up, which the pediatrician told me was reflux. For a little while, she was on a type of even antacid as an infant. But nothing that really caused me to want to seek alternative ways until the ear infections were so constant.
Right. And so once she came in, so she was about how old?
She was not quite 1. So she turned 1 that month, but I brought her in right before she turned 1.
Did she have an ear infection when you brought her in?
From the time she was probably 9 months till we saw you, at least 3 or 4. So maybe. I can't really remember if she had one at that point or not, but.
Yeah, sometimes parents don't realize this too. It's once an ear infection comes, you do the antibiotic and you hope it goes away. And then it comes again and you think, has it been the same ear infection that's been there that just never got, cured? Mm-hmm. And so then you keep getting the antibiotics. And a lot of, parents don't know that getting adjusted and it's a fluid buildup, so you can actually do a slight, and I mean, it's not a hard adjustment at all. I work with infants and babies, but people do have that scared tactic at first because they think, oh gosh, you're going to do what to my baby's neck, and then, once you kind of get to know us and you do that alignment, then fluid and everything can kind of drain out of the ear and then she can start feeling better. So how many ear infections has she had since we started working with her?
Okay.
Age 1 to 5 now.
Yeah. So she's been with you guys at 4 years, 3 or 4, maybe 5, but, they've been very mild and treated with adjustments and garlic oil, basically.
So she hasn't needed any more medication, right?
No, and I guess from realizing it didn't really work, why even go get any? I mean,
Right.
Kind of been my thing too, but.
And she's pretty active. Isn't she around other kids? It's not like she's,
She has been in full-time childcare since she was 12 weeks old and been involved in other activities. So yeah, she's always around kids.
And that's good for people to know too, because they feel like, well, I'm not going to put my kid in a daycare. I'm not going to surround them with other kids because they keep getting sick and sick and sick. But her immune system over the last 4 years that we've been working with her has gotten stronger.
Yeah.
which is, yeah. So if she does get anything, of course, where do you like to go when you get sick, Austin?
To you.
To me. Yeah. So if you're not feeling right, I know, and kids know their bodies, which I love. So, when they don't feel right, they'll say, hey, let's go see. Now they're calling Marie, my office manager. They'll call her Dr. Marie. I don't know. I don't know if Austin called Marie, Dr. Marie, but
I don't think so.
yeah, so they'll come see Dr. Weaver. And, we do a simple, we do that scan, which is kind of cool for the neck. Austin, you've been to my office many times. Has any, when you have the little scan, does the scan hurt? No. And it's always been a good thing because, when kids go to other doctors, they're used to getting held down and shots, and sometimes it's a very scary thing. And so when I first worked with a new child that's already had tons of medications, have been held down and they're scared, but then like a few visits, they're, they used to it, and they're like, oh, this is something I enjoy and something I like. So since you've been adjusted, we've only had a few ear infections and just kind of treated it with some garlic oil and also the adjustment so things can happen there. Anything else that you and Austin would like to share about the office? I know now you come in and where's Rob today? Is he?
Rob doesn't work today. I always tell people I was third in line. Mom always comes last.
Right.
It was Austin, and then it was Rob, and then it was me. I think I've now been a patient for 2 years this summer, maybe. I think it's been 2 years. Just that the office is a place that we love coming. I mean, we never had anything wrong with our pediatrician's office. They were always very welcoming as well. But it's kind of like you said, I don't think they ever had to hold her down, but it's a little intimidating, doctor's offices. But coming into upper cervical, it's like our family. It always has been. But when she gets sick, you are the first line of defense for me after I've kind of tried my own things here, oils and just letting her body kind of deal with it. If I think it's something ongoing, you guys are the first people we call, and really good about, even if we don't have an appointment, trying to get her in. Like I can squeeze her in here just to see her. And we've done that a lot of times. So I can say with confidence that it happens because there's been many a time I've called and been able to even, I know a couple of times when you weren't even seeing patients and you told Marie, just slip her in the door. We're going to see her real quick.
Yeah, we're going to sneak her in. She's had some accidents. You remember she
busted, and she's still got the scar to prove the busting of her head open.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like when she falls awkward, I kind of watch her for a couple of days because I know right away sometimes that's going to mean, it could mean congestion or even a sickness. And I didn't even know until we started coming there. I had no idea that a fall or any kind of head trauma could really cause that kind of stuff. So now,
that's real important to understand.
Now, whenever she falls off the monkey bars in the playground, which she did not too long ago, or off a bike or something, I watch her like a hawk for a couple of days. And if I see any symptoms of what I think might be illness, I get her in there and get her adjusted.
Right.
But it's I love coming. We love coming. Now that we come once a month, it's like one of my favorite days.
Oh, I love seeing you guys. You guys are awesome. And that's so important, Sarah, that you mentioned that, because it is a physical trauma that can actually create, for the body not to function properly. So that's what chiropractic is. If you fall off the monkey bars, you're riding your bike, things happen, you have that fall. But as a parent, you don't realize that can create sinus problems. It could create breathing problems, allergies, ear infections, how your body adapts to that fall. So it's so important when you have that little injury to get in and get fixed. So it doesn't have to be a long-term thing, especially, remember your husband. We won't talk a lot about his story, but he had a really bad fall.
Yeah. Forgot about, I guess, to tell you.
Yeah, that he forgot about. Yeah. So with that bad fall, he's so, it's amazing.
And I'm such an advocate now. People, occasionally people ask me about Austin and upper cervical care, because I literally talk about it all the time. Like people probably get sick of hearing me talk about it. Like my teaching assistant, anytime she has any kind of ailment, I'm like, what would help that? She's like, I know if I got adjusted. So I'm a big, a few of her friends' parents will ask me, and I think a couple of people I've talked to have come to see you in the past when I've told them how well it worked for Austin. So I feel like I got it from the rooftops, but it worked.
I know your word is getting out there, and it takes people so yesterday we saw a new patient, and someone has been talking about our office to this patient since 2017. So it took them 3 years to make the decision to come into the office. So sometimes it's test and trial, other things, and then they're ready to make that big decision to come in. And once they do, they're like, why didn't I do this 3 years ago?
I tell everybody my only regret is not literally coming the day after she was born. I wish I'd have come so much earlier for her.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing Austin's story. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we leave today?
Just that I love it. It's a lifetime thing for us. And like I said, we enjoy our once a month times, and every now and then when we have to come more than once a month, but it's just a great place to be, and I would recommend it to anybody that has any kind of, not just back issues, but children especially can just go through so much trauma, like you said, falling. I recommend it to anybody and if you're skeptical, just to try it because it works.
I appreciate you selling it.
I mean, you guys truly care. You're very knowledgeable. And I mean, Rob says it all the time, my husband. He's like, I can ask her anything and she knows the answer. Or if she doesn't know the answer, she'll look it up and tell me. And I think that's a big difference too in just regular primary care physicians in your office, and is that you give us insight into why we're feeling how we're feeling. You're able to tell us, and otherwise it's just another place. Okay, well, this is what you have and here's the medicine for it. I feel like we get a little more of a feel for why in your office, the why,
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I think this is so important to get that message out. That's the reason why I'm on TV. That's the reason I'm doing podcasts now, because I'm like, I wish my parents knew about this. I mean, I suffered with 11 years of sickness before I knew about chiropractic. And so same story, if my parents would have known, then that would have made a big difference for me growing up. So now I have my kids with no medications and just real excited to raise them up and have one sneaking in there now. So they don't have medication. They had no idea, finally my son, he's graduating and he's finally getting it and he wants to be a chiropractor. So he didn't realize how awesome he had it his whole life until he talks to other people, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
You did what? And so I'm just really blessed to be able to offer this to our community and just reach out to more people that can benefit. So thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing Austin's story today.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I love sharing it.
All right. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the No More Meds podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share your favorite episodes with your family and friends, or at least leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher. The content and opinions expressed are those of the host and presenters. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Product statements have not been evaluated by the FDA.